Alright everyone, Pokemon Day is coming up and I have some predictions that I would like to make and share with you. First off, Pokemon Cafe Remix will be here. The game is never going to die. I don't really care for it, but for the people that do, it is going to get an update. We're going to get a trailer for it. It's going to be added into all the other things that I'm about to talk about. Pokemon Go, it might have a 50-50 chance of being here. I honestly don't know. There are rumors that Niantic is trying to sell off their gaming division, and if they are true, then there's a lower chance that they are actually here. There is a possibility of any anime update being here. As you all know, Ash got retired very recently, and since they don't have a Golden Goose anymore, it might be prudent for them to actually advertise the anime as it currently exists. We might be getting a movie trailer, or maybe the next season trailer, or we could get a new anime altogether, to be honest with you. Pokemon Sleep is also going to be here. Last year they had a trailer for Entei, Raikou, and Suicune, and I think we're going to get a Psychic type legendary, and I think that Psychic type is going to be Cresselia, and I think it's going to coincide with Darkrai. I don't know if we're going to be releasing a trailer with both of them together, but I think we're going to get Cresselia. Now for the more spicy stuff, Pokemon Unite is going to be here. There are obviously going to be new characters that are going to be released for the game. Probably something to do with Kalos, if I were to guess, any of the starters. Maybe they're already in the game. I don't know. I don't play the game, but I think they're going to be present here. The big thing here is, though, that I think that they will be having the auto chess mode from the Chinese release of the game is going to be released internationally. I think it would be great to have all these eyes on the game itself, and this new game mode is kind of a soft reboot of the game itself, having a new game mode. I think there's also a decent chance that it ends up being on PC, since an auto chess mode kind of requires you to use a mouse, and I also think that the Switch has a mouse mode, so it would make sense for that to be released on PC as well. Or at least I hope it does. Now this one, hear me out, it's kind of a stretch, but there's what I kind of want and have theorized could happen in the future, and I don't know if it'll necessarily be here. First of all, both you and I know that Pokemon has dipped in quality over the years, and I think they're going to they have been taking a new approach that allows them to breathe a little bit when it comes to development time. They announced Pokemon ZA last year, and we got no updates whatsoever, and I think it'll be 2 years since the game will be released. But that's for the future. I think, given that context, I think it would be very alienating towards the competitive community, which usually gets their games every single year and updates with those games. So what I propose here is I think that they are going to, possibly in the future, if not here, they're going to have a live service battle simulator, similar to the Revolution games, Coliseum games, except it's constantly updated. In doing so, they'll be able to detach themselves from the games themselves and honestly focus more on the gameplay in those games than having to worry about the competitive scene and what it means every year for these games. So that is something that I want. Pokemon ZA, the mysterious game that has not had any updates for an entire year, which is incredibly surprising given Game Freak's history, but I think we're going to get a gameplay trailer here. I think that the starters are going to be the same ones from whatchamacallit, the Kalos games. Those are the ones that have the least amount of love put into them. Their designs are amazing, but their stats and everything with regards to battling is not so good. So they'll probably get Mega Evolutions. I think we'll also get a couple other Megas. I think this will be modern day, and I think it's going to release in September. So be happy about that. Next up, TCG Pocket. Everybody's played this game. We've gotten to a point where it is just open the app and open the packs. I think that we're going to get a new set, and it's going to be focused on Arceus. I think that it'll release the day of, and I also think there's a good chance that we get a preview of the Rank-U mode that will soon be coming to the game. As you know, many people engage in the game, but they only open the packs at this point. The events are kind of boring. The emblem events are just, they're nauseating. I think that adding a rank mode will allow for the average audience or casual fan to be much more engaged, and it's kind of like a carrot and stick situation. So I think that we'll get a preview of that, and it'll add longevity to the game, as I'm sure the Pokemon Company really wants that. Now this one is kind of crazy, but this is something that I think could happen. I think it could happen in the future. So I'll just get out with it. I think that, as we all know, the demand for Pokemon is so incredibly high at this moment, with the Pokemon TCG, with the games, just the anime. I guess maybe not the anime so much, but just in general, Pokemon is above and beyond what probably people would expect 25 years later, or 29 years later, rather. And I think, given that, I think that Pokemon Company will probably seize this opportunity. Maybe with all this attention, I think they will finally start releasing Pokemon centers back again. Maybe not releasing, but opening Pokemon centers back in America. And yes, I know they had the failed one in New York, but I think it's a little bit of a different situation. The Pokemon craze waned when they released the Pokemon Center back in 2000, and I don't think that is something that would happen. I think people just love Pokemon in general now, and I think it's going to be an ever-present existence in most people's lives. It's not a trend. It is, you know, it's just ever-present. I don't know how to put it in better words. So yeah, I think that will happen. And for my last prediction, I'm sure all of you have heard this before, but I think that we are either going to get all the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance Pokemon games, or we're just going to get the Game Boy games. On the last year of the 3DS console's lifespan, we got the virtual releases of those Pokemon games. I think in a similar fashion, we're probably going to get the same thing. It could be next year, but I honestly think that at the very least we're going to get Silver and Gold and Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue. And coinciding with that, we're going to get those GBA games maybe later, maybe here. But coinciding with that, I think we're going to get a lot of the unreleased content that came with the Japanese version of these games. If you didn't know, the Gold and Silver versions had extensive online content that obviously we didn't get here over in the West, and I think it'll be released with the Virtual Console, coinciding with a lot of what has happened with the Virtual Console games that have been released on the Switch and the Switch ecosystem, online ecosystem. And also the GBA games, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald also have the e-reader card content and a lot of other Japanese unreleased content. So I think whenever we get those, we're going to get those included. And also, I think that the app will be separate from the current Game Boy and probably GBA future release virtual console apps, because Pokemon is weird like that. They don't like people having multiple saves of a game or rewinding anything in particular. So I think that they're going to make it a separate app. I think it will also still be included with the service that exists. But yeah, those are my predictions. A lot of these can actually be said just for the future. These are general predictions as well as Pokemon Presents predictions. But I think that is what is going to happen. And I also hope that is what is going to happen. So if you liked the video, leave a like. But also post your predictions. I would love to engage with what you think is going to happen on Pokemon Day. And so yeah, thank you. Get hyped and see you later.